Hello friends and welcome back. Today it's time for another Once Upon a Book Club unboxing. It's been a while and that is because Once Upon a Book Club box still has some shipping problems. They have explained this to us and they are great with communicating to their customers. So I'm okay with that. It just means that I haven't had much to unbox for you lately when it comes to Once Upon a Book Club box. And I was kind of holding on to their January box because I knew that their February box and March box would be delayed. But good news, the February box is on its way as we speak. So as soon as that one arrives, I'm gonna read the book, open the gifts, and make a video for you guys. But of course, today is all about the January box. And guys, it was such a good box. It's such a good book. I cannot wait to share it with you. And if you like these kind of videos, then don't forget to click that subscribe button and hit that bell so you never miss another video of me again. Let's get unboxing. Once Upon a Book Club is a unique reading experience. I absolutely love the concept. You read the book that you get in your box, and then on certain pages there are post-its, and these post-its correspond to gifts, and that just really enhances the reading experience. And if you want to check out Once Upon a Book Club for yourself, don't forget to use my discount code LeandaBooks10 to get 10% off your purchase. And of course, a big thank you to my patrons. If you feel like it is something for you and you want to come join us, then head over to patreon.com, type in my name, and you can find all the information over there. Let's take our first look. We got a total of 4 gifts this month: the monthly quote card, the book club kit, and of course the book. The book pick for January is Yellow Wife by Sadeqa Johnson. As always, I'm going to first talk about the book and give you a spoiler-free review, and then we're going to open the corresponding gifts. Our main character is called Phoebe Dolores Brown, and she has been born on a plantation in Charles City, Virginia. Her mother is the estate's medicine woman, and she is cherished by the master. This shields Phoebe and sets her apart from others at the plantation. She is promised freedom on her 18th birthday, but due to unforeseen circumstances, she is forced to leave the plantation. She ends up at the infamous Devil's Half Acre, into the bowels of slavery. You can imagine that this is not a light-hearted story. It is based on true historical events. It's pretty graphic at times and emotional. There's just one main character in this story, and she is called, as I said in the beginning, Phoebe Dolores Brown, and we experience this journey and this story through her eyes. There are also a lot of side characters who all play an important role in Phoebe's life. And if you've read the book, among my favorites were Essex and July. There's not a lot of world building in the story because it is limited to 2 locations: the Bell Plantation, where Phoebe was born and the story starts off, and then of course the Devil's Half Acre, the latter being the one where the majority of the story takes place. What makes the story even more powerful is that this place actually existed. It's called Lumpkin's Jail, and it is in Richmond, and later it got the name Devil's Half Acre. Its jailer was known as the bully trader, his wife a former slave named Mary, and this is what inspired the author to write this story. So she heard about the bully trader, his slave wife, and then came up with this story. I could not put this book down. It is written in such a way that you just want to keep reading. This is of course partly due to the fact that it's so impactful and emotional, and I was just constantly trying to wrap my head around the things that were happening in the story and the injustice of it, which is impossible because it is just utterly incomprehensible. It is so hurtful and so horrible to read how white people treated people of color. It is something we all know, but we are no longer confronted with. And reading this story has definitely brought that back to my attention. If you're into historical fiction and you don't mind the occasional graphic scene, then I would definitely recommend reading this book. You are not a slave, in name only, not in your mind. Never in your mind. I almost forgot to mention this, but we actually got a signed edition. So there was a sticker in the box with a signature from the author, and I put it in the book. If you've read the book, definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments. And for now, let's move on to the gifts. The first post-it can be found on page 19. And in this part, Phoebe is still at the Bell's plantation and she is with her sweetheart. What is it? I sat cross-legged with my skirt pulled down over my feet. Close your eyes and no peeking. I could hear him rummaging around. Now open them. My lids blinked open to see Essex holding up 2 leather strips. Hanging from each was a wooden carving of a half of a heart. This one for you. He took one of the necklaces and tied it around my neck. Just a little something to hold us over till I can marry you properly and get us ways from here. I touched the heart to my lips. Then he gave me the other necklace and I tied it around his neck. I love it. I nuzzled my nose against his chin stubble until I felt him blush. Thank you kindly. Anything for you. The corresponding gift comes in this beautiful box with flowers, and inside is the exact same wood heart necklace with leather strips and 2 halves of a heart. And I think this is actually a really cute gift. Not only does it make the story come alive, but it's also something you can use or give to a friend. I don't know if they used actual wood, but it does look like wood, and I love that it has a darker color. The second post-it can be found on page 93, and in this part, Phoebe is kind of introduced to Devil's Half Acre, has just arrived, and she hasn't met her master yet. I do not believe we made a proper acquaintance. I am Reuben Lapier, Phoebe Dolores Brown. Folks call you Phoebe, Phoebe Dolores, or Phoebe Dolores Brown. I could tell he was fooling with me by the way his dimples spread across his cheeks. If I guessed accurately and Elsie was 10 years my senior, then he had to be 20 years more than me. Not as old as Master Jacob, but definitely older than Mama. Just Phoebe is fine. Well, Phoebe, I brought you something. He took the few steps toward me and held out his hand. Inside there was a thimble. Silver, shiny, and quite honestly the most beautiful thing anyone had ever given me. Thank you, sir. You're welcome, he said, and then turned out the door. I think you can already guess what is inside this little brown bag. It is the thimble that was gifted by her master, and it is indeed silver and shiny. And I had to look this up, but apparently you have to put it on your middle finger, because that way the needle, when you're sewing something, cannot pinch you when you hold it. I will probably never use this, so this will be an item that I am going to display in front of the book, probably in my bookcase. The third post-it can be found on page 125. This might be a little bit of a spoiler, so if you still want to read the book. In this part, Phoebe has earned more approval and acknowledgement from her master, and he has asked her to move because he was already in his house from downstairs to the upstairs bedroom, and we all know what that means. I sat on the edge of the bed, trying my best to take in my new situation. When I stood to leave for my shed, something caught the corner of my eye. A dusty, leather-bound book on the nightstand near the far wall. I had not been near a book since I arrived at the jail. I listened for footsteps. My heartbeat increased as I turned the book over in my hands. The cover read, Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. When I opened it, I had to press the leaves down a few times at the front and then the back for it to fully spring to life. Mama's voice nagged in my head, cautioning me on the dangers of reading. I returned the book, but as I moved through my day in the shed, I wondered what words I would find on those grubby old pages. And the reason why Phoebe is so scared is that people of color were not allowed to read. The corresponding gift is this one. It is beautifully wrapped. When we open this, we have got the same book that Phoebe laid her eyes upon, Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. At first I thought this was a notebook or something, but it is the actual story of Oliver Twist. Another great gift in my opinion, because it is a book inside a book box. That's always like a good item to put inside a book box. And it's also a story that I have never read. I mean, I know what it is about, but I just never read the book, and now I can read it. And I like that they chose a cover that makes it look like an old classic, which it is. So yeah, excited to add this to my bookcase and to read it one day. The final post-it can be found on page 258. And I feel like this is another part where you get a massive spoiler. So if you still want to read the book, then skip this part. In this part, Phoebe has been reunited with her love, Essex, and he is held captive at Devil's Half Acre. Anyone over there? She shook her head. He asked for you. I ran my fingers over my dress. What did he say? Wear the yellow wife with the medicine. My stomach quieted down. He had not betrayed our connection. Elsie placed the laundered shirts on the table and then headed out of the shed. Instead of carrying my whole medicine bag to Essex, I thought it best to hide a few things in my pockets. The brown jar, a balm I'd made with black elder, peppermint, and ginger for when the girls came down with fever, sliced onion, and some bread. I knew his feet were still swollen, so I tucked a piece of white willow bark in my pocket and made my way. When I opened the door, Essex was tossing around on the floor, moaning. I rushed to his side. It is the Yellow Wife. It comes in this little box that has piano keys on it, and that is to represent Phoebe because she can play. Inside this box, and I thought this was another great gift, is Miss Phoebe's peppermint lavender salt rub. And inside there are some peppermint leaves and a lot of salts. It smells really good. I think this is actually a really good item. I mean, it's not the exact same item as we read about, but it's close enough. It has peppermint in it, and I cannot wait to try this. I don't think I ever tried a salt rub, especially not one from a book box. Next to the gifts, they also include a monthly bookmark and of course the monthly quote card. As long as there was breath, there was hope. And of course the book club kit. In here you can find a conversation with the author Sadeqa Johnson, some discussion questions, and really long dates. And at the back, and I thought this was a really cute touch, is a recipe called Elsie's Mutton Stew. And that is something that is actually being made in the book. And they describe it as something that is really tasty and smells really good, so you can make this for yourself. And that was everything in the January Once Upon a Book Club box. As always, let me know your thoughts. I thought this was a really good box. I loved the book. It was really good, and I loved all the gifts. I honestly don't really have a least favorite. Maybe the thimble, because I am not going to use it, but I do think it will look really cool in front of the book on display in my bookcase. And some exciting news, I have ordered the Bridgerton Box because the TV series is actually based on books. I think 3 books in total, and Once Upon a Book Club box has done this collab with the author, so we're gonna get the 3 books and then some Bookish Gifts. I'm not entirely sure when the box will be shipped, but I am gonna unbox it on this channel. And that was all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and let's stay in touch.